Very interesting. Do you think circovirus vaccines was, one of the top five discoveries in the last 20 years in pig production? Do you think is that quite an outlier from a response standpoint, or is more like closer to average? How do you categorize circovirus vaccine versus
Well,
the rest?
so the thing that would give me that, so the beauty of circovirus is that it has just sort of one major, epitope or antigen that we would be concerned about in terms of immune responses. And so that's the thing that it made it, and it's small. It's small. You can, it's 1/10, or it's about 1/30th the size of a coronavirus, and about 1/15th the size of PRRS. So it's not very, but we knew what was important, and there wasn't very much changes in it, and so that to me, that's what made it a good target. Okay, now I would say to you that to me is also still the good news about as you look at COVID-19. I think the spike protein is really, as far as we know, with most coronaviruses, unlike PRRS, where we've got maybe 2, 3, 4 targets that we worry about. Two main ones, but other ones that we worry about because we just haven't sorted that out very well. And there's other viruses that are that way. I work with a cattle virus called bovine viral diarrhea virus, and it's closely related to hepatitis C. And that virus, which is also in the same family as classic swine fever. And we've got okay vaccines for classic swine fever, but we still look at it predominantly again as a foreign animal disease, because still not great. And it's that way with in that flavivirus family. And they're even, if you look at it, looks like it's simple, but there's about 3 or 4 proteins in there, even though it's even smaller than PRRS. So the good news is the less complex there. So the size of the virus isn't as important as how complex they are. And so corona is not very complex. Circovirus is not very complex. African swine fever is complex. Pseudorabies was complex. Okay. But there, you're able to, with pseudorabies, we got around that because we took advantage of the fact that because it responded to so many things, that as you eliminated one of them and gave marker vaccines, we had a strategy to get rid of them, in terms of, okay, now we knew a vaccinated pig from a wild type pig, and we could use that. So those are, that's how we can, you can use vaccines in very, very sophisticated ways in terms of, and again, and the key there was monitoring, because you're looking to see whether or not when you pulled that blood from that pig and measured for pseudorabies, was whether or not it was a marker or not. If it was a marker, then you knew it was a vaccinated pig, and then move on. And if it wasn't, then it was a wild type, and then you need to go in and and do some testing and do some trace back on that herd. But but again, it's the same thing we talked about. It was testing, trace back, and they call it, it's contact, but that's trace back as well.
Yes. Yeah. Interesting.